Suffer the little children to come unto me, and let me tell you a story. And the big children too. A story about transistors. Transistors, spelt with a T. T for transistor. Now, let us tell you a story about a terrible, horrible, very bad man who owned a well. And he had freely received water from this well, but he did not want to freely give the water. And he did cheese off the townsfolk, because the townsfolk spoke very negatively about him and his well. So there we have the man and his well. And the man did put his foot down. There's his foot, that he would not give any water to the townsfolk. And the more he put down his foot, the less the townsfolk liked him, and the more they spoke negatively about him, and the less the water flowed. But one day a very wise man said, I'm going to befriend this townsman. So he did, and he spoke nothing but nicely and pleasantly and positively to the townsman, till eventually the townsman did thaw and became a little bit positive. And the more positive this wise man spoke, the more the mean old, terrible, horrible, very bad man did relent and did allow the water to flow. Now, in like manner, this is like unto a transistor. And we have here a battery. And the battery, let us show you our little circuit. There we have our battery. And the battery doth have a little resistor there, and then it comes around and it comes to our little transistor, and then it goes to an LED here. Here's a switch, whoops, to a nail, a rusty old nail, and that completed the circuit. So here is our circuit. Resistor, battery, here's the positive. It cometh to the collector. Here is the base of our transistor. Here is the emitter of our transistor. And from here, it goes to a light emitting diode and back to the battery. Now we can create a flow. So what is given back, and given back. And so there is a commerce of electrons through the whole system, and everybody doth benefit. Let us see if I do anoint between this nail here, because the transistor is nailed down. There'll be 3 nails, base, collector, emitter nails. And if I do place my finger between the base and the collector, the base becomes positive through the resistor. Let us try that and see if we can get this to operate. Now notice, as we do anoint our finger and place it between the base and the collector, the base is biased positive and the light emitting diode comes on. Now, if we try to bias the base negatively, nothing happens. If we touch between the base and the emitter, create a current, nothing doth happen. So, if the base is positive, it is like unto the man that is positive, and will allow himself to share the goods of his water with the rest of the townsfolk. Now, let us tell you another parable. This circuit is like unto the delightful Sea of Galilee, which is full of water. And from the sea it flows through reeds and marshes through the river Jordan, and then goes into the much bigger Dead Sea. And here we place a little sluice gate. Now the sluice gate operator is bipolar. Sometimes he's positive and sometimes he's very negative. if it's negative. No water does flow from Galilee through the reed bed, which is like unto our resistor. It cometh to the sluice gate, and it confronteth the very negative sluice gate keeper, and no current flows. But if he's bipolar and in a positive mood, he allows the current to flow into the Dead Sea, and thus we have our circuit is completed. From the Dead Sea the water doth evaporate, form clouds, and doth rain back into the Sea of Galilee, and thus we have our circuit. Now we can create another very interesting little circuit. Here we have our base, and to our base we have connected some silver foil. And to the foil we can rub electrons off onto a ruler and bring it close to the foil, and it attracts the foil. What the negative electrons do is they push the electrons to the transistor. You can see that as the negative ruler comes here, negative repels the electrons to the base, so this transistor switches off. But when we pull it away, all the positives that were attracted to the negative ruler rush back. In fact, it's the electrons that are left rush to the positives, and the base becomes temporarily positive and allows the current to flow. And we shall show it in the dark. And in the dark we shall see there shall be light. Let there be light, but first let there be dark. So here we have a sleeping cat. Time to charge up the ruler by rubbing it on the cat. Pull it away, pull it away, pull it away. Charge. Every time we pull the negative ruler away from the foil attached to the base becomes positively charged and lights up, allows the current to flow through. How does our system look? There is the circuit. Here is the piece of foil, and here's the cat that we're using to charge. Our circuit with